Friends, how about we pay attention to something more important than anything else? Something very fundamental, the purpose of life, the meaning of life, the glory of life, the excitement. And why I asked you that come to talk about this subject, because these are things that we are missing. Don't you think so? We are living in a culture, in a so-called consumer society that is looking for only one thing: to promote human to consume more. And there's a reason for it. Today's culture is different from all of them. It's not a bunch of traditions or form of life, style of life. It is made of groups, organizations, like companies, multinational corporations, political parties, associations, and all different type of organizations. All together, they have individuals in their control by bombarding us with information, news, commercial messages, propaganda in all different type. And we are getting those things and making our mindset. And worse than that, there is a pressure on every individual to go and consume, because the only goal they have is profit. And the profit comes by making us to consume, to be a consumer with the intention to get more profit. And that's why they make us to go and consume more and overconsume. And that overconsume means overwork, and overwork means they didn't pay more attention or pay more, give more time to these things. And this is like a vicious cycle, over and over loss. Why? Because at the end, we keep losing the only reserve of time we have, which is of lifetime. And it will not change a day. It is a certain time we are alive in this. We have got this opportunity to be alive and use this precious time for much greater things, but there will be no time left. Even at the time of we have at home or a spare time or in vacation, you still, our mind is busy about things that this culture creates, thinking about the inflation and higher price, interest rates, and job, and changing our jobs or getting more raise to be able to pay the bills, and so on. There's no time left for the main thing. Because all of these, if you look carefully, are means to make us alive, to get the basic needs. And then for what? Only to be a producer and consumer? Absolutely. Obviously, it doesn't make sense. And there's no really meaning. It's just an empty life. And we are so busy with it, we don't notice that part. So what happens is that this culture, I mean, by culture, I mean the whole organized companies and groups, government parties, and political parties, and else, that make us to be busy, they are taking advantage of humans' vulnerability to this temptation and immediate pleasure and being superficial. That's a tendency we all have, to not pay too much attention for getting a pleasure and go by service. And they're exactly targeting that weakness of us. And that is the heart of the problem. Let me give you an example. The example is much more helpful for this type of abstract wording. Suppose you're a very much careful parent, wise and thinking deeper. You see your child is all the time playing game. And you can sense, you have the sense that this is not good for him. He's getting himself distance from the rest of the world, but the reality of the world, from his own personality and character, from all future, rosy future, and great adventure and creativity that he can have while getting busy with this game. So you feel it's hard to hurt him for you, hurting your own emotion, but you force yourself to discipline him, to not to take too much time. That's exactly when we think in this world, and not following the temptation and this type of culture. Another parent may do absolutely different. He would say, oh, the child is busy with his game. That's good. It doesn't bother me. He's busy and he's happy with it. Very good. So maybe I'll go get another cell phone and get another better, sophisticated computer, then he would be even happier. All you do is making him even more busy and depriving him from those great things that he can learn at that critical age. So that's the difference. So the good news is that as soon as we start thinking deeper and by reason, human being is reasonable. That applies to all of us. We don't do crazy things. We see what is it and what is it good for. But that temptation is the one that runs against it. So as soon as we start thinking reasonably, we find that this reason of this culture is very much misleading and superficial. We just go after the temptation, immediate pleasure, and we resist against that. When we resist, we actually enter into a new phase of life, the intellectual life. We find that, oh my goodness, why I'm so much paying attention to this petty thing, day-to-day life and repeat it. I'm here for much greater things. I'm not alone in this world. I am living in a society, in a universe, actually in the ship of existence, and I'm lucky to be there. I can explore a lot. I can become a creative individual. I can join others and learn from them. I can do things for others and accomplish something for others in different way and get deeper satisfaction, pride, glory, as I said at the beginning, start to come. In fact, everything starts to change by our deeper thinking. The first thing that comes to our mind is that this is not all me. It's my mind, which is many, many times more helpful for me to learn than my senses. And more, we learn that we have the whole world to win. There's so much things that we can do to add to what exists, which is exactly what we are here. And the great philosophers of us, like Socrates, Martin Heidegger said, we are here to reveal, find, explore, and bring light to darkness. The concept of love starts to change with us. We find that there's no such a thing that there are others we should not love. We realize that our separateness is a delusion, as Albert Einstein said. We are under the delusion of separateness. We are one with others. And that love is the noble, absolute, pure love, not the love that comes from temptation and immediate pleasure or loss, LUSD, or blood relations. They are, of course, love, but they're just limited. And concept of spirituality is deeper and more clear to us. That means we are, in fact, having a whole world sharing with millions and millions of others. We are not this ego that only remains in this trap and jail of our own selfish interest. And the concept of intellectuality changes and gets much deeper. In the surface, intellectuality by immediate thinking is that, yes, we talk about issues and learn and then talk to each other and then argue and fight with each other. That is exactly what's happening in today's life, in the absence of better understanding of what intellectuality is part of our life. It is actually the mean to raise up our consciousness, and the joy of exchanging ideas and belief with each others in the absence of ego. In the absence of ego, as in mine is my idea is right. And exchanging those, the greatest joy comes from that moment. I don't want to be too long with this discussion, although it's so interesting, important to talk more about that. That's exactly where the life becomes meaningful. Finally, by deeper thinking, we become a different individual. As long as we are looking at surface, we may forget that we are the center of attention. We are the subject, not the object, that others use us or play with the games of others. We are the one that make the game, or at least if there is one, we approve it and join. We are the one that gives us our own value. We are the one that determines or finds what is right and wrong. In other words, morality comes from us. Zakaria Razi, the great philosopher, 1,100 years ago, brought this matter to attention of people, and they developed them, that everything is inside you, including recognizing or learning about the universe and everything there, especially moralities, virtues. And that is when we become self-confident, because we explore everything by our own, verify, not picking every information on our mind and just going by what majority people say. But we examine everything. So we will sit in a very firm position, as Ralph Emerson said, that as long as you're following others and not examining everything else, you're the conformist. You're not yourself yet. And there comes the self-confidence when we do that one. But there comes a purposeful life, glory, and pride, and even heroism. When we find that there is an important matter, that interest of majority is there, or interest of others are involved, and we give in to our own interest, there comes the sense of heroism. Thanks for your watching. This is not enough. This issue, this subject is very exciting. Let's hope that we have more dialogue, more talk on this, especially with your intellectual contribution. Thank you again.